Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another Enlightenment podcast. Today I'm waiting for some subscribers to join, but while we're at it, we're going to talk about Rudraksha. So, hopefully you've seen my previous video of me talking about what I had purchased, what I had invested in. Quite a lot of energy and effort went into this. Actually, my entire life went into this for me to be able to afford this and have the energy within my body and the strength and the spiritual competence to acquire so many of these. This is not a simple procedure, my friends. Trust me, I've tried this in the past and it failed terribly, miserably. But the first time in my life after going to Kailash, this is the first opportunity that presented itself to me. And it happened spontaneously. It happened without me really willing it too much. I didn't will anything. This just kind of happened. Welcome. If you're joining the show, I'm going to talk for a while. Then you have the freedom to ask me whatever you like. I didn't will this into existence. This happened for me. So during my Kailash trip, I had to go to Kathmandu. So let me take you back in time and tell you how I acquired 55 Rudraksha Malas. This is 108 beads. This is exactly what I'm wearing. It's one long bead, very, very long, but I double it up so that it becomes short. This is exactly what I'm wearing. So it becomes very manageable. You can easily wear it wherever you are. And very nice, very red, very aesthetic. I chose the red threads in between very purposely, and I'm going to basically talk for an hour or so, however long it's going to last for me to explain everything that I know about these things. So it all started with me and my journey to Kailash. I wanted to go to Kailash, and I messaged someone last year. I said, hey, I want to go to Kailash. They instantly sent me a message of this lady that I need to contact, Shalini. I did a podcast with her titled, She's Been to Kailash 18 Times. I believe that's the title of the video. So I contacted her and she explained to me, this is the procedure, this is how much it costs. It was a substantial amount. But thankfully, everything worked out and I was able to acquire the funds. And then I had to go to Nepal, naturally. And while in Nepal, before I even left the airport, I met a man called Beam. Shout out to you, Beam, if you're watching this. He started talking to me. He was the taxi driver and he spoke English, so I kind of paused for a while and spontaneously, magically, miraculously, a similar photo to this of Sadhguru, not exactly this one, but of Sadhguru's profile picture on YouTube, laminated vertically. This was in my passport. As I opened my passport, this fell out on the ground and Beam noticed it as he was talking to me and he said, oh, you're a Sadhguru follower too? Instantly, as he said that, I knew I liked the guy. Okay, let's continue on and let's talk, Beam. And he wanted to persuade me to go to his Airbnb. Before I even came to Nepal, I knew the general direction which I'm going to be staying in. I just felt the energy. I'm going to be in the northeast face of Kathmandu, right next to the mountains and right next to the forest. I don't want to be in the city. I didn't know the layout of the city. I've never been there before. I didn't even see many maps, but I knew, okay, this is where it's going to happen. And finally I said, okay, Bim, I'm going to go to your Airbnb. Let's see. So he takes me. We take a taxi, and exactly the location is northeast of Kathmandu, right in front of the mountains, right beside where the prince is living inside of this mountain mansion. And I stayed there for the entire time that I was there, almost 2 months or 3 months, however long it was. I don't know the dates. I don't really keep track of these things, but a substantial amount of time. And they fed me. Bim's family, Bim's wife, cooked me breakfast and dinner every single day. And it was extremely delicious, and I made lots of videos about that. And I became fat after I left there, but that's no one's fault except my own. The food was very delicious. What can you do? And please don't blame me. So after some while, Beam kind of mentioned this, that he has some contacts that have the ability to make Rudraksha Malas and seeds. There are many stores in Nepal that sell this. I didn't buy this at the store, my friends. I bought this from the actual source itself. I'm going to get to that a little bit later. So then, after some time progressed, it was time for me to go to Kailash. And Kailash, what can I say? It was a magical experience. Nothing really to add here about Kailash. After I came back from Kailash, I knew that some possibilities here with me making money and me selling this and me benefiting and me having the fortune to be able to acquire this, possess this, and to sell this and transmit this to the general public. And with my brand new competence and confidence of acquiring Kailash's energies, I knew that I could consecrate this. I can energize these beads. And that's exactly what I wanted to do. I want to energize these beads and have this be shipped to your house, have you put this on, and have you in some way be touched by Kailash's energy for yourself. So that's exactly what I'm planning to do. So then, after I came back from Kailash, I told Bhim I want to buy some Rudraksha Malas. What can you tell me? And he said, well, there's a valley. I already knew this from watching some very short YouTube videos. There's a valley in Nepal. It's well, exactly that. There are lots of places that grow Rudraksha seeds. Even in Kathmandu, you can see Rudraksha trees, but they grow in distorted ways and they have various sizes and shapes. There's one valley in particular that grows Rudraksha seeds the best, and it's the most abundant, and well, it's there in the northern Himalayas or the south of the Himalayas, just in Nepal's territory. I don't know which valley it is. Maybe you know what I'm talking about. Maybe I should Google it. I will Google it and tell you exactly what this valley is called. The most popular varieties of Rudraksha are found in the region of Kathmandu around Arun Valley, region of Nepal. So it appears correct. This is not the only place in the world that Rudraksha has grown. Rudraksha has grown in South Asia, Southeast Asia. It is grown in Indonesia. And that's the necklaces, or that's the beads that you see Sadhguru wearing. I don't have those particular beads on me, but they're much smaller in size. And, well, there's really no comparison between those types of Rudraksha and these ones. In fact, for comparison's sake, I'm going to go and acquire those. I'm going to show them to you here live on camera. One moment. So this is the one that I've been wearing since a long time, for a few years now. I shower with this. This is why it turned black, this type of color. This is not the natural color of Rudraksha, by the way. But you can imagine the difference in size. This is one of the largest sizes that you can get from the Isha Foundation store, from Sadhguru's ashram. So you can compare the size difference. Size and everything. But when it comes to Rudraksha, the bigger the size, the more powerful its energy. So in the Arun Valley, I believe, in this valley in Kathmandu or in Nepal, these beads grow this size, and they only grow this size. So the small beads, small Rudraksha beads, they don't naturally grow in Nepal in that size. That's only in the Indonesian area that they grow so small. The big Rudraksha like this, they essentially grow only in the Himalayas. These are the biggest, one of the biggest pieces of Rudraksha that I've seen. This is 5-faced Rudraksha, if you're wondering, and I'm going to get to why I chose to get this red coating in between all of them. So let me backtrack a little bit, and let me go back to talking about Bhim and Nepal and these particular beads and how I acquired them. So Bhim at the time told me that he has some contacts that in this valley they grow this, and he can go to the people that actually pick this from the trees, and they harvest them and they make them into malas, and then they ship them to various stores in Kathmandu. Like I said, this wasn't purchased in a store like next to a shopping mall, or next to a temple. There are many temples that have many stores that sell Rudraksha like this, but this is not the same. So I said, okay, Bhim, I want to definitely purchase these Rudraksha, and I want to buy the highest quality ones. And he said, okay, well, you're in luck, because at the time that I was inquiring about this, it was just about to be harvest time. Harvest time is approximately September to October, what I'm told. This is when the Rudraksha seeds or fruits fall out of the tree, and they're harvested, and they're made into malas. So this is fresh. This is fresh off the tree, just a few months. Or a few, I don't know, weeks or days, however much this is. This is fresh freshly peeled Rudraksha seeds. It can't get fresher than this. I bought it this last harvest, and I bought a very large amount, and I also chose this consciously, how much to buy. So I said, okay, I want to buy, definitely. So Beam sent me a picture of the various qualities of beads that he has, that this farmer has to offer. It wasn't him. He knows the contacts in this valley, and he went there, and the farmer showed various pictures of the things he has to offer. And this was the highest quality one, and also was the most expensive one. And I said, okay, no doubt, I'm choosing the most expensive one, choosing the highest quality one. Why? Because that's what you deserve. And that's exactly what I got. Then the thought of how much should I get? And I instantly knew I need to invest this amount of money, X amount of money. And it equated to 55 Rudraksha Malas. Then I had to arrange them to be made. It took a while for them to be made after I purchased them. So workers had to actually assemble all of this, peel this and assemble this. And the choice was given. Should I buy one with the red cotton and thread between them versus no thread? And I instantly knew I need the thread. Do you know why? I'm going to show you as an example. One moment again, I have to go and acquire something. Okay, so this one was also purchased in Kathmandu. Well, there's a slight difference in size. This one is smaller than this one. This one is also made in the Himalayan mountain range. And this one has no spacing in between. And I purposely chose this one. So now I'm glad that I have this contrast. Okay. So without a moment's hesitation, when Beam asked me, hey, do you want the one that has the barrier between this and versus no barrier? I said, yes, I want the one that has the red divider. The red divider is simply cotton thread. You can easily remove it if you like, if you wish to. If you purchase this and you decide, hey, you know what, I don't want the red thread, you can easily do so. So the main difference is aesthetics, but also it individualizes the Rudraksha beads. It individualizes its energy, and it makes it a little bit less potent. Well, that's a trade-off. Now I'm realizing the significance of not having the threads. This one is definitely much more aggressive, and if you wish to have it that way, you can easily remove it. You have the added bonus of having them here without, because if you didn't have them, you wouldn't have the choice to put this back. It would be too laborious. So the aesthetic aspect of it, which I like, and also the very specific, precise energy of this, which I prefer. And also for the things that I plan to do, this is much more preferable because I'm going to energize this. And this type of cotton thread is actually going to aid me in doing that. And when someone receives this and wears this, it'll help to transform them better. Whereas these ones are not individualized. But now as I'm holding it, this one is much more aggressive. That's the main downfall. It's extremely aggressive. So I don't know where Sadhguru talks about the individualized ones. I know that people in the Isha Yoga Center only wear the ones that have no dividers in them. That's your personal choice. I know the difference between wearing both. I have this one, and this one is more suitable for, let's say, social circumstances. This one is extremely aggressive. And again, I purchased this because you always have the freedom and luxury to take some sharp scissors and snip each of these individualized ones off. If you want me to do that, if you want to purchase this and you don't want the red individualized cotton threads in between, you can easily remove that. It's not a problem. I can do it even for you. So that's the reason why I got that. There were other ones that I could have purchased that were smaller, that were less aesthetically pleasing, but I needed to get this one, and that's exactly what I did. And I also purchased the exact amount that I felt was appropriate also. So it took a while. It took nearly, I don't know, 1 month for this entire process to be settled and for finally this to arrive at my door. It arrived in my door yesterday, actually today in the morning. I had this kind of vision or dream on this needs to come very soon, and I opened my door and there they were. So reflecting back on the one that has no space between and the one that has space between, this is more sociable. You can still be social. There's a reason why they do this. There's a much more aggressive way of dividing the Rudraksha seeds, which I don't like, and that's an inappropriate way, in my opinion, where they take and they make knots in between. I have observed Rudraksha like that. That's definitely what you don't want to buy, because it creates a very unpleasant energy with Rudraksha. It kind of makes it you feel bad just wearing this. This is not like that. It's a very simple cotton thread. Essentially, they're all connected. They are connected in energy, but it makes it a little bit less aggressive. This is not, I don't want you to have the aggressive thing because I'm realizing now, I mean, you have the freedom again to choose to remove this. It's okay. There's no problem. But to the people that are going to buy this, it's better that you slowly and gently climb the mountain because you can acclimatize to the altitude and to the different scenery than if you were just to run up. Because if you run up, not very pleasant things can happen. So I'm also in some way responsible for you. This is part of the reason. Now I'm realizing why I chose the ones that are coated in a red cotton. Cotton is a fantastic element also, very conductive in its energy. So the energy of the beads, effortlessly they go through them. It's not like there's a big disconnect. There's a big disconnect if there's a thread in between, meaning if it's a knot. So just to explain what happens, the thread that connects the entire bead, they pause before they add a new one, and they make a knot, and then they add a new bead, and then again before they add a new bead, they make a knot. So the Rudraksha beads are individualized by an actual space, a knot. That's not what you want. So this is not an issue. Some people are commenting on my videos saying that Sadhguru makes it that way. Yes, this is a simple organic material, and it can be easily removed if that's your choice. But energetically, it makes it a little bit more approachable, which is definitely what I like, especially for you, and makes it more social. And it has the aesthetic element to it, which is undeniable. Also, the fact that it individualizes the beads also makes it unique in its vibration and energy. All right, let's move on from this. Let's talk about something else. Or let's move on to the story. This is a big step in my spiritual business. This is the most amount of money that I've ever invested in an object like this. And I purposely invested because the spiritual beads that I was offering to you, it was kind of a fluke. I just intuitively knew someday in the future it's going to become very valuable. I need to invest in this, and I did. This is not like that. This feels like energetically the waves are pushing me towards doing this, and it was so easy to do. Well, it took a long time. It took quite a little bit of planning, but all the elements lined up, and now it's here. This felt like Shiva, the Adiyogi, wanted me to do something or wanted this to get out to the world, and I was just kind of the medium or the avenue or the channel. Hey, it'll have to go through you. And also, not mistakenly, I've gained the competence and competence, namely, thanks to going to Kailash, that it gives me the strength to carry this. This is not some simple necklace, my friends. To acquire this, I don't believe you can, meaning in the size that I do. It's not some simple thing you're just going to go and buy. And if you do buy, well, this also has a very kind of interesting energy to it. So regardless, moving that aside. So you have to be in some spiritual energy for you to be able to acquire this and to wield this, and most importantly to sell this, which I'm going to do. Welcome. Chandu, if you're reaching out to hear me speak, I'm going to talk more about the Rudraksha, and then I'll answer any of your questions if you have them in the future. So, without getting too lost in things that I'm saying, let's see if I need to add anything else on top of this. So yes, it was an effortless and easy thing to do. It's energetically being called for me to do. And now comes the price. The price of this is 110 Canadian dollars. I picked this number out of thin air. This is the appropriate price before I even got them. Well, calculating the price that I had to invest in this, which was a substantial amount. It wasn't a simple amount. With the shipping costs and paying everybody and paying the people to make this and buying the element and the clearing it, whatever. That's not the point. And also shipping is included, keep in mind. So this $110 will include shipping to wherever you are in the world. This number 110 is the most stable, most appropriate, most adequate number that I can price this in Canadian dollars. That's fair for me and also fair for you. Because if I price this less, I promise you, my friends, if I price this at $95 Canadian, it wouldn't do the same for you, energetically speaking. You have to sacrifice something. Money is a very valuable thing to sacrifice. So trust me when I say this, I very appropriately and spiritually crafted this number. It just happened. It just came to me. $110. I'm not willing to budge a single dollar. If you want to give me more money, hey, whatever. But I'm not asking you for money. Not $111. No, that would be inappropriate. And not $109. That would also be inappropriate. This is the fundamental amount. This is how I will do business. It's very important to price things correctly. So it's I'm not lowballing, and I'm also not price gouging or overpricing. And fundamentally, if you were to go to Nepal or if you were to go to some other place that you can buy this, well, you could acquire this, but you can't acquire it from me. That's the unique selling proposition, a unique selling point. This comes directly from me, Shiva, Kailash, Shambho. I stand behind this product. This is part of the reason why it's $110. But the most significant, the most important reason why it's priced this way, at only 110 Canadian dollars, shipping included, is the fact that I won't just sell this to you today. No, that would be inappropriate. I have to work with Shiva here. I have to work with Kailash's energies, and I have to infuse this in some very simple and gentle way for this to reverberate with Kailash's energies. At the very least, it has to touch you on an etheric level when you get this, when you acquire this. My goal, my purpose with this is that when you get this, some sense of Kailash has to touch you. That is when I felt like, okay, I did the appropriate thing. I did a good job. Right now, it would be inappropriate to sell them. So some things have to be done. I have an entire box. I will show you. So that there's approximately, 25 of these in this box, and 25 are still, I sealed it up and placed it in a secure location in a storage in my house. So this one will be energized first. So some of the processes, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Well, I don't want to get too much into this, but I will wrap the box in cotton cloth or cotton string, and I will focus on Shiva, I'll focus on Kailash, and let's see how much energy I can bring into this. When it's appropriately done, when it's cooked, that's how I feel these things happen. It'll be like a ding will ring off. Okay, now now enough energy has been put into this. I've done enough that at least it's capable of being received by people. That's not the way it is now. It's just simple Rudraksha beads. It's phenomenal. It's fantastic, but much more can be done with it, and that's what makes the price much higher than it would normally or naturally be because of this simple fact. So yes, this will be infused with Kailash. Does this mean that this energy will reverberate for a very long time with Kailash? No, but the essence will always remain there. It'll be touched with this energy for sure, guaranteed, no doubt about it. And I want, when you open this up, when you put it on, I want this energy to be touched by you, to be absorbed by you, so that eventually and inevitably you will go to Kailash in the future. This is also, I was thinking about this, who is this for? Who should buy this? Well, you have to have the appropriate funds, of course. You shouldn't buy this if you don't have food to eat. That would be inappropriate. Or maybe you should. I don't really know. But definitely if you want to make it to Kailash, you should buy this, or you must buy this, especially if you want to go to Kailash with me in 2026, July. That's when I'm planning to go, take people with me. You absolutely must buy this. It's pretty much a requirement because this is a tool for your inner transformation, for you to be aligned to go to that space. It's not some simple thing. And this is it. So anyone that wants to go to Kailash, you need this. You should definitely get this. Now, talking about the size, some people have said this is too big, or can I make it smaller? Yeah, you can make it smaller. Sadhguru said that it's not appropriate to it's not appropriate for you to wear less than 84 Rudraksha beads, which I feel is true. If you wear 63, it's not enough. I don't want to say the word hurt, but it will kind of hurt you. It's not enough energy for it to do something. And it's kind of like back and forth. You're kind of stepping in, stepping out. It's not wise. So if you're wearing a bracelet, probably not the best thing you can do. Get some more, get at least 108 on your body. You can wear much more than 108, as I do. But 84 is the minimum. This is 108. I had the choice to get less. I had the choice of get 54. No, I said absolutely not. I need at least 108, minimum 108. And that's exactly the size. So as you can see, I'm wearing one, and it is doubled up. So meaning, see, much larger than it actually is. Then you can put two at once, and very appropriate. This is not something that you're going to be walking around in every day. I mean, you could, realistically. This is more for special occasions. This is also why the price. It's a more of a luxury item. Shouldn't say the word luxury. This is more a special equipment. This is something that should be worshipped. This is something that should be kept in a very appropriate altar or space. This is something that you should put on when you meditate. Oh, definitely you should put on when you meditate. Or when you do any kind of business. This will change your consciousness in a very real and a serious way. So don't underestimate this, my friends. This is a type of consciousness by itself. This is Shiva's consciousness. You put this on, guaranteed you will change. There's no question about it. You're not stronger than this energy. No one is. So you're not capable of being the same person with this being on you. It's just physically impossible. The laws of nature has never been broken like that. And again, the red coloring is more of an aesthetic purposes and more for you to gently and slowly ease yourself into this power. Because if you just get the 108 undivided, it's very serious raw Shiva's power, Shiva's energy. Maybe I'll remove them, but you always have the option to snip these off, but I wouldn't recommend it. So 108, because that's the significant number of chakras in your body. When you do any kind of chanting, usually it's 108, or it's a significant number for various reasons, and this is also 108. When you do any kind of chanting, you can follow along this bead. You can go individual bead, and you can chant a mantra. That would be fantastic. And also you can energize this. When you energize something, like Rudraksha, for example, unless you do things to maintain it, the energy will be lost, number one, or number two, it'll be absorbed by your body. That's what I want for you. So when you get this, put it on, all the energy will be absorbed by your body, and good. That's what you need to have happen. And this will be something phenomenal and fantastic that you can have with you for the rest of your life. Truly, I mean that. Some caveats. Don't shower with it. That's number one. That's an obvious. Never shower with this. Don't wash this with any kind of detergent or soap or liquid. That's also out of question. Don't submerge this in water. So don't go outside and when it's raining, don't expose this to water. Don't expose this to direct sunlight for extended periods of time. Of course, if you're wearing this out in nature, it's perfectly fine. But don't leave it on the window where it's constantly soaking and being it's boiling with the sun 24 hours a day or 12 hours a day for 7 days a week. That's not appropriate. And coming to conditioning, this doesn't need to be conditioned anytime soon because it just freshly came out of the seeds. I'm sorry, the fruit. So probably for the year, you have my assurance, this will be very strong, very capable. After a year, maybe some things will need to be done. I wouldn't recommend buying ghee and milk because that involves suffering animals, unless you go to a proper farmer where the milk is extracted in a nice way without the animal getting slaughtered afterwards. So don't participate in that. There has to be other ways of conditioning this. In essence, it needs fat material. It needs oil. I don't want to say anything because I don't really know. The Isha Foundation has to be contacted, and for other alternatives to be found. But at least minimum for 1 year. Nothing needs to be done. Probably more than that. If you take good care of it, this will last you for your entire life, as it should, naturally. And yeah, not a lot of conditioning is needed. Like, for example, the one that I have, the one that I shower with, and the one that is exposed to water and exposed to my body heat, it is starting to feel brittle. It definitely is. So it definitely needs some kind of oil. But this one is not going to be like that. You're not going to keep it in that way. So this one is yeah, won't need to be conditioned as often. So very nice, very aesthetic. It's much more aesthetic with the red coloring than without the red coloring, in my view, in my opinion. But that's your choice. You can always remove the cotton. I wouldn't recommend it though. It's an added bonus, an added benefit. And what else needs to be said? What else needs to be shared? Let me think. Let me pause and reflect. Rudraksha means tears of Shiva, the teardrops of Shiva. The story goes that there's a few stories. This is one that I genuinely like the most. That essentially, Shiva was sitting and meditating. Shiva was sitting. This Adiyogi was sitting, meditating, and tears of ecstasy flowed out of his eyes, and it landed on the ground. Where it landed, a tree sprouted up, and the tree bore fruits. The fruits are electric blue. You can even Google this right now. The Rudraksha seeds, the Rudraksha fruits are electric blue, like the Vishuddhi chakra, the throat chakra. And inside the seeds, inside the fruit, is this seed. It comes in a variety of faces. This is the 5-faced Rudraksha. That also has significance. And it has a consciousness of its own, my friends. This is an intelligence, as Sadhguru says. You put this on, for sure you will become intelligent, and for sure you will gain the consciousness of Shiva. This is Shiva's consciousness. You can't remain the same person wearing this as you would without wearing this. This is a very fantastic business tool also. You don't see me not wearing any kind of spiritual tools when I make YouTube videos. That's purposefully done. Not only for the aesthetics purpose, I will make sure to wear this from now on. For the aesthetics purpose, but not only that, for the consciousness that it changes me into. It changes my consciousness. I want to be empowered when I talk, when I make YouTube videos, and that's exactly precisely the reason why I wear Rudraksha. Welcome, Shaman. Nice to see you. I'm seeing that you're joining us. So I'm talking about Rudraksha. I've acquired some from Nepal. If you have any questions that are relating to this, Shiva's teardrops, feel free to ask. But I'm going to carry on. Let's see, what else needs to be said? Occasionally you may notice that a particular bead. Please mute your mic if you're not going to talk. Some individual beads have pieces of them broken off, like this one has. You can see the white, just a tiny fraction of it has fallen off, unfortunately, sadly. There really isn't any avoiding this, especially when it comes to the larger ones. This is the benefit of having smaller ones because, well, they're really too small. The actual grooves are too small to be broken. Even with these, you can still find pieces that are broken off. That's just the nature of things. It is a seed to begin with, and it is brittle, so you have to be very gentle with how you treat it. I would never sleep with this because if you lie down with this on, it'll be crushed and it'll definitely break. So as Sadhguru says, you should never wear a Rudraksha that's broken. This isn't mean that you should throw this out or you should change this. This is an inevitable part. So you see just a little bit of a piece has fallen off. This is unavoidable. Not only with shipping, but because again, this is a seed and some little grooves are stronger than the other, and inevitably one or two pieces out of the 108 beads will fall off. That's an unfortunate reality of the physical world that we live in. It is okay. It is acceptable. What's not acceptable is when an actual piece, an actual bead gets cracked, a substantial crack where it's visible. Not only when it's visible, when you can, if you have this attunement, you have this sensitivity, when you can perceive that it's energy changed. I haven't seen this happen. I haven't seen any Rudraksha beads
Hello,
cracking.
hello.
Who is talking?
I think Shamandro. By the way, let's make it conversational,
Yes,
Shiva. If you. Hmm.
tell me.
So, when did you first come across Rudrakshas?
Well, let me continue. I need to say a few more things before we talk about this, but
Yeah.
I'll definitely answer your
And
question. When was the first time I came across Rudraksha? I'll keep that in mind. So, yes, my friends, only when the bead gets cracked, then you have to stop wearing it because it changes the energy and in an unfavorable way towards you. So that hasn't happened. If I do notice a bead is broken, of course, I will never ship that out to you. That's impossible. That's something that you need to consider. Other than that, it's pretty much perfect. This is a perfect mala, 108 beads, each and every single one of them carries. And that's exactly what you need. This is called the bindu. This usually is the 108th bead, which is made this way. That's because you don't want it to be in a perfect circle, the necklace. When it's in a perfect circle, the energy just spirals in a circular motion, and it's not good for your body. It can be damaging. So then a bead is placed that's, what's the word? It is kind of, it feels like it's out of place, but it's the last piece so that energy can be drained out of the last one. And that prevents the energy from building up and causing that to give you a headache. So that's why it's there. You can place the bindu usually behind your neck. That's the most appropriate way, traditionally speaking. But realistically, you can place it any which way you want. So to answer my friend's question here, shout out to my Discord server. He's a big contributor to my Discord server. When was the first time I came across Rudraksha? It was when I was in many years ago when I was watching Sadhguru's videos. Sadhguru talked about this little bead that's very special, and instantly when he started talking about it, I felt the power. I knew this is something so remarkable. And the more benefits he described, he didn't have to name many benefits. I just instantly knew this is amazing, this is magic, and I need to get this. So I went on Amazon and I purchased some, and I didn't really know if it was the real thing or not. It was the real thing, but I didn't know at the time, and I had some doubts and questions. And I was wearing it for some time, and I was going through many changes and transformations as Shiva's energy was impacting my life. This is, again, I want to stress this because it's a big concern in my community. Why it's divided. I purposely chose this to be divided. You can always remove this, but because it's much more gentler, it'll get you to the top of the mountain for sure, guaranteed. But just the speed is not as fast and as rapid as you wearing it individualized. And also the aesthetics of it and the fact that it's cotton also plays a role. So I have both. I have one that I showed you that is not individualized, and I have the other one that my friend gave me that is individualized or that is divided. And I much prefer the one that's divided. At least wearing it outside of my body like this to display it. I would wear this on the inside of my body, and it's preferable to wear it. If you're gonna wear this for a long time, it's better to have nothing divided. But for the social reasons that I'm wearing this and for other purposes, I chose to wear the one that's divided. And Yeah, so I purchased that, and it wasn't until after a while I decided, okay, I need to invest in Sadhguru's one, and it was very expensive. It was like $100, but I did, and I'm very glad I did. And I started noticing the difference. It changes your consciousness, my friends. Rudraksha changes your consciousness. It forces you to be like Shiva. If that's what you want, well, you buy this. $110, you send to my PayPal, you send me an address wherever you are in the world, and I'll ship it out to you as early as tomorrow. Well, right now, yes. So yeah, about the
So
go ahead.
yeah, now it's a India typical question.
Yep,
I want a job, a good paying job, something in that. Do Rudrakshas help me to get a job?
good question. Well, I'm tempted to say yes because, of course, I'm gonna benefit from the answer of being yes. But the actual answer remains yes. Of course, it not only helps you to get a job. It's not like, let me be fair. It's not like you're gonna get this and tomorrow the employers are gonna be begging you to hire you. No, this helps you overall in every aspect of your life. This improves you as a human by 10 points. This is like my analogy. If you're living in this game of life, you're this character, and you just found some magical potion, you drink it, you just raise 10 points. This is exactly how this is. This is a fantastic tool of life for this human character. It's one of the best things you can invest in, or you can wear, you can find, you can this is one of the top three spiritual things that there are on planet Earth. You wear this, you buy this, no doubt it'll change your energy, it'll change your life circumstances. And if you need a job, one will definitely find its way to you, or you'll become competent enough to acquire a job. But no doubt, my friend, guaranteed, your life condition will improve slowly but surely if you wear this.
Okay. Is it dependent on intention? Like if I have certain feeling and I got Rudraksha like a token, so it's like accepting. I have that intention, I want to fulfill that. Does this kind of mindset works on it or any otherwise?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, Rudraksha is very much dependent on the energy that you give it. Right now, this basically has nothing, no energy. That's okay. It still works without any intention. But the way you can benefit much more out of it is if you chant mantras with 108 beads and you circle each one. If you do spiritual practices with this, if you meditate, if you watch spiritual things, it'll acquire that energy. And yes, if you have certain intentions, this will change as you change. So the one that I have, it's extremely personalized to me. I've been wearing this for a very long time, and maybe you can even see the energy that it has. So if I were to put this on you, in some subtle way, you would become like me. You would start becoming like me. That's not an appropriate thing to do. You shouldn't wear Rudraksha that was worn by somebody else. But the intentions that you have, you can definitely put into this, and it'll change you, and it'll also change the trajectory of your life. This is very malleable. This is very programmable. So to answer your questions, yes, this is definitely dependent on your intention.
And also, it sounds like a Chinese jade necklace. So they do have similar uh, stories or narrative associated with it. Like you imbibing your energy into that necklace jade, and as it follows.
Yes, but the difference is a piece of metal or rock or stone, it doesn't really have any intentions of its own. It doesn't have an intelligence of its own. This carries an intelligence. This is an intelligent thing. This is like the closest thing I can describe it to you is if some aliens came and gave us a space technology or some piece of technology. This is alien technology. This is not something you find here on planet Earth. Oh, it's a rock, or you can imbibe, you can put energy to it. Yes, you can do all those things, and you should do all those things. But this is not like that. This is not even like Mercury. Mercury is an amazing spiritual metal, amazing, incredible. This is much, much more powerful than that. This is actually has an intelligence of its own. That's why it's so powerful. That's why you need to get this.
Got you, Vishnu.
I'm sorry, what?
I got you. I
Yes.
understand.
Okay. Yep. Any other questions? More than welcome. Anything you want to bring up? Now's the time. let's see.
Shaman, your turn.
Uh,
Namaste.
Namaste. Um, I didn't see your response on YouTube. So is it a spacer in between the beads, or is it a? Okay.
Yes, it is. So again, I mentioned this in the previous. You weren't here when I talked about this, but yes, I purposely chose the one that has space between, and I did this for various reasons. I intuitively felt this was the right thing to do, and for aesthetics reasons, number one. Number two, it's more sociable. You can wear this outside of your thing, and it's more appearance oriented. It's not as aggressively spaced as some of the spaces that have knots in between. That's very inappropriate. It's like bad. The energy is not good. This still, the energy carries through because it's cotton. Cotton is a natural element, and it really makes that doesn't really make a significant difference. This is the analogy. It's like if you're running up a mountain. If you run up a mountain, well, you'll get there very fast. But if you walk, you'll get there essentially too, just not as fast. This is more stable, more gentle. But an additional bonus is that when you have this, if you have this and you choose to decide to remove the red spacings, you can easily do so with a pair of scissors, small scissors, like manicure scissors. You can easily do so. So anyone that chooses to do that, they can.
Is it
But I wouldn't recommend it.
Oh yes. Are those a 6-side or
This is 5-face Rudraksha. Yes, so that's
5 faces?
that's important.
Oh.
That's one of the most common face Rudraksha is 5-face. That's the most. It grows pretty much anywhere. The more, the higher the face is, the more complex it is to not only to grow, the more rare it is. The rarest one is the one-face Rudraksha. Excuse me, one-face Rudraksha, and it sells for something like $3,000 or $4,000 in Nepal. So American. And I was holding one in a legitimate store, and I knew this was the right one, and I held it, and wow, it's like it's so
Wow.
smooth, it's so comfortable. It's like, ooh, you're in the presence of something truly remarkable, truly wonderful. If you wear this, I thought if I wore this, my energy would become so easy, so smooth, so comfortable. It would be like smoking the substance, the substance I'm talking about, but without any bad side effects. It would just be kind of like groovy. I didn't want to invest $3,000, and also I could pretty much do the same thing without this. But no doubt in the future I want to get this. So that's the rarest one. It's one face. Then other rare ones like 7-face or other, they're much more rare. 5-face Rudraksha, they grow anywhere. Why? Because, well, they're 5 elements. Maybe this is kind of Shiva's intention. This is the natural way of things. 5 is what comes up. Also, there's 5 kind of chakras you can really work upon. There are 5 many things. So for whatever reason, 5 is the most thing that it grows. And it's to do with the body, to do with yoga, to do with you being perceptive of this human mechanism. So it kind of works out in that favor. So if this was be 6-face or higher, it would be much more expensive, maybe into the thousands of dollars. So this is the least expensive intelligence tool to enhance your intelligence.
I was
There
at
might
the
be.
side. Oh, yeah, you can go, sir.
Okay. So you gave an example regarding alien earlier. Maybe a few people are not so good with the alien terminology. Do you think aversion to alien? So how do you explain to them?
Can you,
Isn't there a possibility that they get afraid of it,
if they
like
get,
Satan, something like that?
yeah, definitely that's a possibility. But I'm here. I'm a guy. My channel name is Shiva Kailash Shambho. I have a black statue with a guy with a moon and a snake around his neck. So if you're scared right now, if you're watching me or following my channel, you're probably way too far into the rabbit hole to turn away or whatever. You could be scared. That's perfectly fine. Is this some kind of devil worship or demon worship? No, absolutely not. This is a seed that grows from nature. It's a very unique seed, and it's just that it could be summed up or boiled down to this. It's a seed from a plant. So nothing scary about it. It just comes from a very powerful source, very spiritually powerful.
Now, yeah. Now I am interested. Who is Shiva?
Who is Shiva? Well, just like these beads, Shiva doesn't. This is not like anything you find on this planet. Neither is Shiva. Uh, when I went to Kailash, seeing the magnitude of that place, there's no chance, nothing you can do to convince me that a human being did that. It's impossible. Not even multiple human beings could do that. 10 or 100 even, extremely wise sages. You can't do that. It's made not only for human beings, it's made for other extraterrestrial beings. It's just engineered that way. It's a library for whatever being you are on the planet or in the universe. It's there. You want to go visit it, go ahead. So Shiva, as the stories say, I'm inclining towards his direction. He wasn't a human being. Almost certainly he wasn't a human being. It's impossible. Going down south to the southern Kailash, also seeing that mountain and walking on that mountain, it's impossible. There's no possibility of a human being doing anything close to this. It's just impossible. Maybe with the south face of Kailash, you could potentially, if you gathered like 1,000 extremely wise sages and it took him a year and you really had the resources, you could maybe potentially bring that energy into that mountain. But it would be it would be maybe the most remarkable feat that any human being has ever done, or human beings did. This man sat there for 3.5 months and did that. It's just phenomenal. And this essentially comes from him. This is like, this connects you to him. This connects you to the consciousness of him, connects you to the energy of him. And you have to be very prepared. This is also a reason why I chose to get this divided, because you wanna get introduced to a waterfall gently if you can. Shiva's like a waterfall, or like he's like the Niagara Falls. Maybe there's a part of Niagara Falls you can kind of get wet a little bit and acclimatize yourself. You don't want to get the whole waterfall falling onto your head if you're not prepared for it. If you're prepared for it, you can whatever. But this is also, it's much more gentle. This is much more gentle.
So it feels like a Hindu philosophy regarding Purusha and Prakriti. Prakriti is kind of a world that you see around, everything manifests, and Purusha is the one that runs everything, the consciousness of everything. So you are saying Purusha is a Shiva, and these Rudrakshas can actually tap that energy into your intentions.
That's a very complex question you asked. I'm not sure I understand it fully. But what I just briefly glimpsed from your question, in essence, as I repeated before, this definitely connects you to Shiva's consciousness. This is like, maybe you put this on and you get to go inside of Shiva's guest house. You're not in his house, but you're in his guest house, and you can kind of feel, oh, this is what this man is living like. I can't imagine what he's there and is living in his house. You're in the presence of that being. You're in his house. You get to sleep in his guest house. That's fantastic. So if you wear this, you will not only become like Shiva, you'll have Shiva's energy around you. If you wear this long enough, if you really are competent in this, you can wield Shiva's energy, just as I'm doing. I don't make a video without this off. I understand the power and the significance of this, the energy of this. So I think you were asking more about the intention side of things. Scared to say this a little bit, but this has an intelligence, an intention of its own for you. You don't really get to decide what this guy does to you or what happens. You kind of just surrender. That's the best way of doing it. And you go for the ride. Not really wise to really strongly intention into this. If you really know what you need, like I'm going to put the intention of Kailash's energy into this, and that's easily I'm going to make that happen. But if you think you have intentions, maybe life needs to turn you around a little bit, or definitely this has an intention for you. That's the added benefit of getting something as intelligent as this. So, yeah, unlike mercury metal, which is very Shiva oriented, it's still part of the earth. This is something, it still comes out of the earth naturally. This is not really of the earth. This is an intelligence. This is a foreign technology.
So magnet attracts. A few other metals may attract with certain charge, but rocks don't attract. Similarly, these Rudrakshas have potential to attract certain energy that may benefit people, right? Okay.
Yes. Yes, it definitely attracts energy to benefit your life. No doubt about it. Something I must say this, I must warn you very gently, very safely. If you do decide to invest in this, not everyone will be able to invest in this. It's quite a hefty price. It's 110 Canadian dollars. Not everyone should invest in this, really. This is more of an advanced thing. But if you do, if you are called to this, well, invest. And what can you expect to follow? Well, some mild or gentle form of destruction is bound to follow this. I don't mean to say that your house is going to get destroyed. I hope not. Definitely not. That's not how it works. Destruction of what? Destruction of your ego, destruction of your sense of self, destruction of your ignorance, of your stupidity, of things that you've built up from a false pretenses, from false pretenses, or directions that you've gone to that you shouldn't have gone to. Be expected for all that to get reversed and for you to come back to a more natural state of being within yourself. That's a very nice added bonus. Shiva is, of course, known as a destroyer, so naturally this is the type of energy. But don't get afraid that good things will never get destroyed. Only things that are harmful, like disease, will definitely get destroyed.
Okay. What if this Rudraksha Mala was ordered by non-vegans? Do they turn into vegans?
Good question. So, some people say that you should never wear Rudraksha if you eat animals or you fornicate with individuals or you smoke cigarettes or whatever else. That's not true. You could do whatever you like with this, and you should have this on when you're out in the world engaging with life. If you aren't at the level yet that you can to give up meat, if you don't see the issue with that, that's okay. You still wear this. Why some people say you shouldn't do this is because when you eat something, the energy of that thing naturally becomes you. And if you eat death, well, not only will it become you, it'll become your clothes and it'll become the things that you wear. And this is very highly programmable. So it'll be a little bit more of a challenge to do bad things in life. Definitely it'll be more of a challenge to do bad things in life if you're wearing this. This consciousness won't allow you just to go and destroy your life or waste your life or do something harmful. If you're still eating meat, I mean, you're eating something. It's not like you're taking somebody's life. So it's okay in that sense. And you shouldn't put rules like, oh, if I wear this, I shouldn't do this. You should just live your life. And if you wear this long enough, if you respect this long enough, it will change you. Undoubtedly. Make no mistake about it. So don't worry about it too much. If you're perfect, if you're not perfect, you just wear this. Things will happen.
Is there any mantras associated with it to reap more benefits?
Absolutely. The most beneficial mantra that's associated with Rudraksha, at least the one that's coming to me now, is Om Namah Shivaya. One of the best people that has chanted this mantra is Sadhguru. You go online, you type in Sadhguru Om Namah Shivaya. You chant along with this. Oof. Things are going to happen very quickly.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Very good, Shiva. That's a great explanation.
I've seen
So, Shiva,
many people at the temple. They do the Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare. They go really quickly with it too. It's What is your thoughts on Krishna? Are you not? You're not a big follower? Or
I'm becoming more attuned with Krishna's energy. In fact, the word Krishna, it has some significance. It has a lot of significance, but I'm just starting to become aware of this, Krishna. People that are called Krishna, I just watched a very brief YouTube short of like some Indian movie, and some man was calling the Indian man Krishna. Hey, Krishna. It was his name. People give this name. It's common in India. And I'm seeing he's consecrating him by saying this word, and it's creating such a powerful vibration around him. Just casually, hey Krishna, food is ready. Whoa, that's a unique. That's not a small thing you're doing. So Krishna is definitely a powerful word. I'm not familiar with Krishna in the being sense and his energy. It doesn't resonate to me. I'm not called to look in that direction. I'm more towards this gentleman that you see behind me and his stuff. But yes, Krishna, fantastic human being, fantastic being. And yeah, you can definitely use these beads to chant along a mantra 108 times. That's one of the best ways of doing it.
So, to what kind of persons do you specifically recommend it? There are people with certain energies, right? Some are in lows, some are in their highs, some are in confusion.
Yes.
So, who can benefit most from it?
Well, first I want to mention again, so I have these big ones. This is my own personal one that have no, it's not separated. It's just one thing. This one is much more stable. You can see this one is very energetic. This one is more grounded, more stable, more permanent, more concrete, like more of a tangible substance. That's the primary reason why I got this. It's much more suitable to my audience. I don't want you to be jumping off the walls. You need grounding, strong stability. And this is also not something, again, you should be wearing every day, walking around in public, although you should, but practically probably not. This is something that you should place in your altar and wear when you're meditating, wear when you're doing special things, when if you're engaged in business. This is a fantastic technology to change your life, to change your mind, change your consciousness. Who should wear this? Well, there really isn't any restriction like, oh, you're a confused person, oh, you should definitely not wear this. Everyone and anyone will benefit from wearing this. Children, old people, confused people, spiritual people, unspiritual people. But who will benefit the most? The intention that I had buying this is people that want to go to Kailash. If you want to go to Kailash, especially if you want to go to Kailash with me in the near future, in some point in the future, or if you want to go to Kailash, I bought this tool to assist you in that direction. This is a tool for you to get to Kailash ultimately. And hopefully one day you'll get to carry this to Kailash. That's definitely going to happen. If you buy this with that intention, I can pretty much say this with 100% confidence. If you buy this with the intention of, I want to go to Kailash, let me buy this with the intention of going to Kailash, almost without a chance, without a shadow of a doubt, you will go to Kailash in this lifetime. So life situations, life's events will favor you in that direction and you will end up going. So that's the intention that I had buying this.
So, there is a thing called exorcism, right?
Yes.
And possessed people. If we put this Rudraksha over possessed people, they get cured.
Very good question. In essence, yes, they will inevitably get cured. This is a powerful spiritual protection. In fact, I have one friend, shout out to you. He's dealing with some occult things. He called me a while ago and he asked me, hey, I'm dealing with something, and I could feel, okay, people are doing not appropriate things to him, spiritually speaking, energetically speaking, occult things are happening to him. But I couldn't really help him. I didn't have the energy to battle this within him. It's a huge battle he's undergoing. Now, the fact that you asked me this question, I can see if you were to put this on, almost instantly all those things would evaporate. This doesn't allow you to have occult influences over you. And if you have some spiritual powers and you're being affected by demons or ghosts or whatever else, you put this on, this will create a barrier not only within yourself, it makes it like you're incompatible with those things, with anything occult. Because I want you to understand, occult is of a lower frequency. It's a lower density. It's like, people that have confused thoughts, that aren't really understanding life, they have some mastery over energy, and they want to do things. They want to take your energy, they want to take your enlightenment away from you, whatever their confusion is. You put this on, this is such a high intelligence. You just become nullified to that. It just can't happen. It's like some small militia, that have some armed forces out there somewhere in the world. They're not going to go and invade a U.S. Army base. It's just not going to happen. And if they do, they'll become like swatted away like flies. This is exactly how this is. So yes, occult forces will get destroyed by wearing this. No doubt about it.
And also it, yeah, amplifies our own goodness, right? It blocks away occult energies and it amplifies our own energies, good intentions.
That's correct. Yes. In essence, that is true.
So yeah, so what if a warrior wears it like a military personnel? So and he goes on to kill enemies, foreign forces.
Hmm.
Then
That's another great question. So, what I see if a warrior puts this on, some military man puts this on, and he goes out into warfare, probably he'll be a better warrior. At least initially, he'll be a better warfare fighter. But this, if you continue wearing this, if you persist wearing this, you can't be that. You can't be in that profession. It just won't allow you to do so. So this is not a, unless it's absolutely required that you're defending it's something that's really required. This will take you away from the unintelligent ways of life. Most of the wars that are happening, not the most intelligent things. This won't allow you to do that.
got it.
Hmm.
Have you had experience with Rudraksha Shambho?
I have the Adiyogi bead from Isha. It's the single bead.
Okay, is it like 5, 4? How
It's
many
five,
pieces?
I believe. I can look for it. Where'd I put it? It's in my room somewhere. Well, I haven't been wearing it recently, but I've been wearing my other my necklaces. I have a meteorite, a tektite, and another one.
Oh, interesting. So you believe in these materials and
Yeah,
energies. Material.
the tektite is very good at negative energy protecting. It'll clear energies and
So Shiva, what is the difference between five-faced, four-faced? Is there any specific energy that we channel through it?
Yes, there's many logical explanations of the difference between five phase, four phase, two phase, one phase. I'm not studied in these things. I'm not learned in this way. I don't really read books in this manner. But intuitively, what I understand, five phase is more to do with the material aspect of existence, more to the five elements, more to the body. And as you go down lower, you go towards the more subtler energies. Ultimately, to go to one is basically Shiva itself. So as you go higher, you become more less focused, but more broad, more diverse, more like that. So this is pretty much good for everything. This is good for your body, for your maintenance of keeping your body healthy, keeping your body active, doing yoga, doing spiritual practices. This will help you. All Shiva Rudrakshas are aimed towards you awakening your consciousness. So it doesn't matter which face you wear, but some are more tailored towards a particular purpose. Um, we want to be masters of the five elements. You are the five faced ones. Four faces. I don't know what four face. I'm just trying to intuitively see what comes up. It's it is a difference. It is a minor difference, but it's not so significant that you should go and acquire. You should acquire as many as you can. But this is
Is it about knowledge, acquiring knowledge?
uh, you had a question, Shaman? I wanted to ask
oh
you.
no, I was saying I remember hearing when I was initiated that the some some beads you need to be gifted by a guru or a different teacher because there's yeah you don't want to buy them.
Yes,
Uh,
that's correct. I'm glad you said that. Yeah, so more other beads are more specialized. You need more kind of you need to be on a certain trajectory in life to wield them and possess them. These ones are universal. Whoever you are, this will be good for you as a human being, for your human body. Um, I have one face Rudraksha, or what I think is one face Rudraksha. It's not the one that I saw in Kathmandu in Nepal. It's not like that. It's just a very tiny little seed. It looks like uh, um, a sunflower seed. And it has such a potent energy intensity. It's like unbearable. I can't keep it in my room. At least I haven't seen it in a long time. It's in my storage. It's far away. So yeah, not every single Rudraksha is good for you or you can handle, but this could be handled by anyone, pretty much anybody. So yeah, this is universal.
So the
Some
five faces,
Hmm?
so the five faces balances everything. It's good to have earthly practices.
Yes, that feels true. Intuitively, yes, correct. It balances your energy for sure. It's good for your energy. Yep. So maybe you can see a difference. I definitely can see a difference when I wear this, how it changes my state of mind, how it changes my communication. That's why I use it. That's why I apply this tool.
You have that shield of armor when you're in a debate. You know, it looks like it looks kind of heavy as well. But it doesn't feel heavy?
This is quite heavy. It's much heavier than the one that I had, but that's maybe potential downside. But the fact that it has density, it's lots of substance. I guess that's a trade-off. But again, I wouldn't wear this 24 hours of the day, only when I'm doing something specific and I need this extra boost. So this is something worth investing into. If someone were to ask me, which again, I bought this with a particular purpose, and if anybody's out there that feels drawn to this, you should absolutely get it. There's no reason why you shouldn't. But again, this is not made for everyday use. If you wear this every day, that's fantastic. But practically speaking, at least I don't see it. Maybe I'm kind of limiting myself here. Just because the size of it's quite large. At the very least, you wouldn't sleep with it. That's what I'm trying to say. So this one that I have, it's appropriately sized, and I wear this 24 hours of the day. I don't take this off. I sleep with it, I shower with it, I eat with it, no matter what I do. This, I wouldn't sleep with it, at the very least. I would wear this around because the benefits that it has. But sleeping, it's out of question. So if you want something that you can sleep with and wear 24 hours a day, I would definitely recommend that too. This you can buy this from Isha Life.
That's a great service you are doing, Shiva. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, my friends, if you want to go to Kailash in the future, with me, without me, this is the tool that you should invest in. This is a tool for you acquiring Kailash's energies and ultimately for you physically to ending up there. I hope, it's my dream, it's my wish, this is my life's chosen purpose. Whether it's chosen by me or something else, I'm not really sure. But I strongly want to do this. I want to influence and impact as many human beings' lives and impress upon them the magnitude and the power of Kailash. This is the reason why my legal middle name is Kailash. And this is the reason also why I'm selling these beads. This is why I'm offering this to you. Because ultimately, I want people to wear this when they hike up that mountain, when they see that glorious, amazing phenomenon. So I purchased this. I acquired this after I acquired 55 of these, after I came down from Kailash, very appropriately so. And this is the intention that I have. I will implant these beads with the spiritual energy of Kailash. And the intention is for you to go to Kailash in the near future. This is a tool for you to go to Kailash inevitably and ultimately. Maybe you'll do this with me in 2026 in July. Maybe you won't do this with me. That's okay, whatever you choose. But not only to go to Kailash, if you want to empower yourself, if you want to invest in one of the most spiritual elements that exists on planet Earth, this is what this is. If you want to change your consciousness, if you want to get closer to Shiva, if you want just to have cool spiritual beads that you can show off to your friends and look, I'm a spiritual person, and benefit with all the many other benefits that I haven't mentioned here, this is what you should buy. This goes only for the price of 110 Canadian dollars. How do you buy this? On every single one of my videos, in the description, there's a link to a PayPal, my PayPal profile. You send 110 Canadian dollars. You send me your address wherever you can, my Facebook, or you can even send your address on PayPal payment as well. And then I'll ship it out to you. You'll receive this likely in 2 weeks, at the maximum 21 days. And you will benefit you'll benefit from there. So with that being said, if Shaman doesn't have any further questions or statements, comments.
Shambho.
Yes, Shambho. I think we will leave it here. So I'm glad you watched up until now. If you have, 1 hour and 16 minutes. And yes, my friends, this is not a small investment, not a small thing you're going to purchase. This is quite a significant investment. Monetarily, not really monetarily wise, but to your own spiritual advancement. This will take you from walking on the path, or at the most riding a bicycle, to getting in a fast car. And now you're driving in a Ferrari on the highway. This is what this is. That transition can be quite challenging. It's quite an experience to ride a bicycle and then get in a Ferrari simultaneously or instantly. So yes, my friends, this is how it looks like one more time. And that's it. Hope you enjoyed. Have a nice day. See you soon. Goodbye.